Mm. Mm. And I think, like women, well, I mean, men would have this problem too. And we've talked about this before, is that, you don't put on all this weight from eating 1,200 calories. If you always ate 1,200 calories and you could restrict for the rest of
100%.
your life, if you had the willpower, you'd feel pretty shitty. You
Right.
would be small. When I was the best at
100%.
restricting, I was tiny. But I
Mm-hmm.
could only stay like that for so long, because eventually you can only ignore the biological response to your body for so long. Then you go and eat because you want, and I even find myself, if I have a really busy day and I'll miss a meal, I'll get to dinner and I'll think, oh, fuck, I actually just want to smash something a bit dirty, because
Mm-hmm.
you want that quick, but I don't. I'll eat my dinner and have some juice and I'll have some fudge and I feel 100% better. But you can see why we used to do it too, is you'd restrict, and then I'd go and reach for the crappiest, shittiest ice cream. I'd eat packets of Tim Tams and Kingston biscuits and just crap pizza, from Domino's. And then your body just, with all the PUFAs and all the crap, and you store the weight and your metabolism slows down. So it's when you're craving sugar, give your body what it needs, but in good nutrient dense sources. But you can still have white sugar in your diet. If your diet is good and it has liver and oysters and dairy and, all the other things that we eat, having some white, I have white sugar in my coffee, I have white sugar in fudge, I have white sugar in ice cream. I'll sometimes sprinkle white sugar on strawberries.
And just
It's
throw it on.
just energy.
Yeah, rub in
I
it.
just you know what I mean?
Take a bath in it.
Yeah, it should. You if you think about it, logically, why would your body crave something that's going to poison you? It just doesn't make sense. People talk about it's poisoning you.
Right. Well, I think that's where they're going into the thing of things like cocaine and stuff, because obviously that isn't a physical addiction, right? If you have addiction to cocaine or heroin or any of these actual drugs that we know are horrible for us, that is an actual physical addiction, right? I mean, so sugar, you're getting a biological effect based on the body's need for energy, and you usually have it when you have blood sugar dysregulation. That's where the craving comes in, and that's why you want it, because your body's trying to regulate itself. But usually because we've been told all this stupid shit and we try to restrict it and eat sweeteners or just a thing of chicken or whatever we're doing and not giving our body our vital energy, then it gets dysregulated. Now it will adapt to your no sugar diet and you might feel pretty good, but ultimately if anything like stress occurs to you, the first thing your body's going to want is a lot more sugar, because you just increased the need for more energy. And at that point in time, a chicken leg isn't probably really going to do any good for you. So, and I think that's where people get in trouble when they try to restrict, and then they're focused and they use all this willpower and I'm not going to have any, when get there, and they get there, and then finally they all right, I got to my goal, and then life comes in, then they start getting dysregulated again because they've already adapted to this no sugar diet and what most people have done all their life. You can't eat tons of sugar on any source at that point in time, because you just gone through an adaptation where now your body is at a lower metabolic rate. It's been using other resources. So for you to add a bunch in at once, you're going to have a bad result. And that's where you have to start going slow when you incorporate it. You can't just all of a sudden start incorporating tons and tons of white sugar and all of these things. You need nutrition initially too, right? So usually when you're in that deprived state, you need energy, but you also need a lot of nutrition. So giving someone a lot of white sugar at that point in time isn't going to do them any favors. You're just going to create more nutrition. You're going to bump up their metabolism and start creating nutritional deficiencies, because you're giving them energy without the other supportive players. And so there is a way you have to integrate. Now, when you get to Kitty's place where she eats lots of food, or my place where we eat lots of nutritionally based food, adding in white sugar for more energy because we need it is perfectly fine. But there's a process to that. You can't just go A to Z. But, we're in such this black and white world where we think that if something's good or it's bad within cookies and cake, then it must be bad all along the board. And it's getting everyone in a lot of trouble. And people are getting sick, and people are, getting to a place they can't lose weight, or they're not feeling well, or whatever it is that's happening to them at this point in time. And when they start incorporating those foods back in, I know it, we've talked to hundreds of people. It's like you're giving them the golden chalice of, oh my God,
do the
finally
singing.
something that's working. Yeah.
The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
It is. It's not like, kale, this is going to be the thing that heals you. We're like, oh, I'll eat it because it's healthy, but it tastes like shit. This is like, oh, this is good. I feel like juice, like a milk. It tastes good. I actually feel satisfied, right? And I feel better. Holy shit. Like, who knew that it could actually work this way? And so,
and it just, we went out to breakfast on the weekend just with one of our friends in Lynn's group, Matt, and we ordered the breakfast and I was sitting there eating it. And I always, when I eat food and go out, I think, oh, I'm just so grateful that like I know how to eat now and I'm not worried. And I had this beautiful toasted sourdough with scrambled eggs, bit of this yum goat's feta on the side. And then I had this juice and it was watermelon and mint. Oh, it was just amazing. Like so sweet. And I thought, fuck, 4 years ago, I would have been like, you know, ordering one of the other bullshit, low carb, no juice, black coffee. It's just, you can really achieve that freedom and eat sugar and not, once I think you get a bit more educated too and you understand and you're not afraid of it anymore because you know that it's just energy. And the other thing that we get to, and maybe we could just talk about this a little bit is, but when I question them and then they go, but Kitty, I'm talking about like white sugar is different to the sugar found in fruit and juice. Well, it's the same. It gets broken down into the same thing. It's just that fruit and juice have nutrients and fiber. Well, fruit has fiber.
Yeah.
But it's the same
fruit
thing.
Is going to have, does have independent fructose molecules, independent glucose. And then they have sucrose, which is white sugar, the same thing. But it
gets broken down into sugar, like white cane sugar. Like they're like, but it's poison. But the fruit in sugar and juice, it's not poison.
Yeah, no. It's the same. That is the same thing. When you get from beet sugar, for cane sugar, it's sucrose. Sucrose is also in fruit. And there are other components, right? And so it's the same stuff. And when you refine it, all it's basically doing is removing the impurities. They're not bleaching it. They're not adding anything. It's just pure at that point in time. We should refer to it as pure sugar. And, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I mean, when someone's coming into the hospital and they're dehydrated and they're really sick, you know what they get? They get a big water of sucrose and salt. That's what keeps you alive. And so they're not just giving you this water or anything, but they're giving you vital things to keep you alive because that's what your body's needing to try to get better. When we kind of break it down on that level, it's like, wow, these are vital things my body needs. I get them in the hospital to keep me alive. But no, I should never have those. I mean, that just makes no sense, right? So, if you probably restrict someone of food for a long period of time, and then you put a bunch in front of them and it was just all sugar, probably going to overconsume it. But why are they doing that? They're just probably hungry and their body needs energy. That's what's going to happen. So, like I said, you don't have you don't have a sugar addiction. If you feel like you have a craving, it's usually because you've been restricting it. I assure you, don't restrict it, and you eat it in amounts throughout the day that are easy for you to digest and you can process, you will not have a sugar craving. It will not be there. And the best part is when you do want that cookie or cake, instead of eating the entire cake or 20 cookies that we've all done before, you eat the one and you're good. It's like a miracle, but you just don't have that problem anymore. You don't have that, and it does feel slightly addictive. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I used to think I was a sugar addict years and years ago because, we restricted and then I would overconsume. That's how it was. So I'm like, I must be addicted. But now I know better.
So I think to finish off, don't be, if you're first starting, obviously, well, look, I think too, we need to say that the majority of my diet, the sugars come from fruit, juice, simple sugars from dairy. It's not, the majority isn't coming from white sugar. That would you say the same thing about your diet? Like there's white sugar in there, but it's not the majority.
Sure. But there are some people that I know eat like jars of honey a day. I mean, like that's a majority. They eat a good amount of like something like honey, which has some minerals in it. In fact, there's kind of was a culture that I can't think of it now, but they would go out and eat like pounds of honey a day for like their survival. And these were lean people, right? So it was just part of, your body likes that kind of energy. 100%. And the healthier you are, the more you can consume because your body requires more energy. And so if you're watching this and you're not healthy, or you have a lot of illness and issues, you're heavy, or you've been on a tons of diet, or you've been on a keto or a low carb diet prior to this, you need to go very slow when you start incorporating it back into your diet.
And I think you'll find too, like we talked about this before, like clients of ours that are really consistent, over time, we've increased their calories and their sugar, and they've gotten leaner. You know, like we're talking about Shan, started at 98 kilos. She's now 75 kilos, got heaps more muscle, eating 2,400 calories versus she started on 1,900. So as her body fat's gotten lower and her muscle mass has increased and her metabolism's gotten improved and her hormones have improved, her balance has improved, same as Anna, they're leaner and eating more. So I think it's the opposite. Like most diets, when I did them previously, they'd be like, cut sugar, cut calories. And the leaner you got, they cut your calories down even more. Where this
100%.
this is a reverse, but it's hard to get your head around, and it's the long game. Like it doesn't have, like these clients be with us 14, 15 months, you know, so it takes time.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically the opposite of everything you've ever learned. And that's why sugar is good, right? You got to go slow. It's not a 90-day program. It might be a 2-year program. It's eating more, not eating less. It's working out less than you were. So it's basically just do the opposite of everything you probably were doing, and here you go. But again, the end conclusion is you're not an addict. You're an addict to only restrict.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Kate. And I shall see you in a few weeks' time.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Talk later. Bye.
Bye.